This is a really handy bit of kit. If you've got an inverter charger installed in your caravan, it's absolutely not complete without this remote control. This is the Inverter Charger Combi. That allows you to run 240 volt appliances from your battery when you're off the grid, when you're not plugged into mains power. And further to that, it acts as a battery charger when you are plugged into mains power or generator. And this ensures that you don't need to be lifting up the seat box to access the Combi on a regular basis. You can do everything with a straight back conveniently here on this display. This is the power button, and that power button gives us some options. We can go to normal mode, standby mode, and charger only. And in most cases, it would be advisable to leave it in charger only mode. And that is for a typical scenario when you don't intend at that time to use the inverter, you can leave it on charger only mode and safely plug into mains, expect your battery to be charged and maintained. If you do wish to use the inverter, you can flick it back over to normal mode. And by doing so, it still acts as a battery charger when plugged into mains. However, you also then have at your disposal the 3000 watt inverter side of the Combi, which is more than capable of running any appliance in this van, including the likes of the air conditioning, coffee pod machines, microwaves, and so forth, all your 240 volt appliances. This particular display here is by default what will always come up. If you leave it long enough, it'll rest back to here once you've been pressing buttons and what have you. And here you can see clearly that we have our battery voltage. I admit there are some features on here that are partially useless given that it's a replication of information given to you here. But from the Combi's perspective, this is what it sees. 13.45 volts in the system currently. At this stage, we're currently consuming 2 amps. You'll notice there it's -2A, so -2 amps. And our battery temperature at this given time is 27 degrees. There is a temperature sensor connected to that unit as well. It's not showing a charge stage simply because we're not plugged into power at the moment. We can rotate that knob and we can see further information there. We can see our input voltage. So as I said, we're not plugged into mains. You can see that here. So where this is a powerful tool, for instance, is if you're plugged into a powered site and things aren't working, what better way to confirm if you have the issue in your build or if the issue is in fact on the power pole than to walk up to here and simply say, well, I know I'm plugged into mains power, but at this given time, I have 0 volts coming into this van. There is no power off the grid. So then you need to go back outside and look for the issue with your extension cord or with the park operator. There's obviously an external issue. So this is quite a handy tool for the user if you understand your van properly. And at this stage, because we've got no power coming in, there's no AC in current either. But when we're plugged into mains, you'll be able to see all that information. At the moment, we are actually plugged in. Just for the purposes of this video, we've got the circuit breaker switched off. So let's presume that someone's just plugged in mains power at the moment. The charger has actually started up and you can see here that we're actually starting to consume some current. All that information is available via this particular display. And if we scroll through, there's even more information. For those that are technically savvy, you can see everything from the AC in frequency and the voltage that you're producing via your inverter as well. So at the moment, because it's in normal mode, the inverter is standing ready to go at 239 volts in this particular case. There's no current showing out of the inverter because we're not running anything off the inverter at this moment. I mentioned earlier on that one of the key features of the Combi is its ability to support a load. A fine example, as I said before, would be such as a generator. When you plug in a generator, let's presume it's a 2 kVA generator, and typically that would be good for approximately 7 amps AC. Now I appreciate not everyone is so technically minded that they understand the maths, what equates to what, but I assure you in this case at 2 kVA we would lean towards 7 amps AC. And just before I go any further, if you've got a different size generator, reach out to the team at Enerdrive. We can actually support you with how to make this particular adjustment, and this is the adjustment here. We've got a 2 kVA generator capable of producing 7 amps AC. We've just parked up our van, lovely free camp by the water somewhere, no mains power. We press this button, AC in current. I'm simply going to dial this back, and I'm dialing it back to my desired level, which in this case is 7 amps AC. I press the button. That's it. What we've now done is ensured that we won't overload the generator, but we won't affect the experience of using this wonderful van. You know, we can run loads, and if we accidentally or intentionally turn something on that exceeds the potential of the generator, our Combi is now going to pick up and support that load quite nicely. So it's a really wonderful feature. And quite simply, when you're finished that camp and you're ready to head off and potentially you're going to a powered site, we do the same process again. We press the button, we dial the knob up. Our sockets are 15 amps. As an Australian standard, we all use 15 amp AC inlets. So let's set it to 15 amps and we press that button again and we're done. That's all you have to do. We're now ready to go back onto the grid.